joining me on today's video. Do you want to say hi to our friends? Y'all, do you see how big she's gotten? She's actually coming up on her 1-year birthday. My little baby's gonna be a year old. I feel like Suki's guest appearances are mandatory in all of my videos, but for those of you who are new and this is your first time clicking on any of my videos, hello and welcome. My name is Erin and I'm a crochet artist primarily, a little bit of knitting. I also just recently moved to Boston, Massachusetts. If you couldn't tell, fall is falling. Autumn is here, so I kind of wanted to get like the cozy crochet vibes going today. We got the candle lit, and yes, I did also try to match my lippy with the fit today. Now, speaking of fall, I have been working on this brand new crochet sweater design to like completely expose myself. I think I started this a little bit over a month ago, and we're still working on it. We're getting really close to the finish line. Like at this point, I still have to work a collar on the neckline, a little bit of a cuff to the sleeves of the sweater, as well as just kind of like a band for the bottom. But I'm getting to that point now where I'm kind of burnt out this project and I would like to take a break. If you guys have been crocheting and knitting sweaters, then you get the vibe. I feel like the first week is a ton of excitement and energy. And then now that I have majority of the pattern down, it's starting to get kind of like repetitive and I need to like pick up the momentum again. So I kind of want to take a break from this today to talk about our lovely sponsor of today's video, Hooks and Needles. Initially, when they reached out, they really just wanted me to do like unbox here on camera and kind of show off to you guys. But I thought, we could do better than that. Naturally, my first instinct is to tear into this box like a 5-year-old boy on Christmas morning. Before we get into the nitty gritty, I need to give you guys a little 411 on all things Hooks and Needles. Hooks and Needles is your new go-to subscription box for crafters who love knitting or crocheting. Their kits are perfectly geared for beginners, but they're also enjoyable for those who are looking to improve their skills or even advance your techniques. Now for the really cool part. A few things really stood out and resonated with me as I was researching these kits. The first thing being that subscribers have the flexibility to pick and choose which box you're looking for. You can either pick between a knitting box, a crochet box, or they also offer an amigurumi box. So the kit kind of covers like all of your crafting bases. The second thing being that although these boxes are highly suited for beginners, each kit comes with 3 different patterns, which all have their own skill level. So whether you're a beginner, you're intermediate, or even advanced, kind of like moi, the box is going to meet you at your skill level and your need requirement. So now that we got all the formalities out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into my very first kit. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the unboxing portion. Now, as I open it up, we're gonna see that the magazine is sitting right here on top. This pamphlet right here is going to be your lifeline. It has been very carefully curated and selected to have all the best tips, tricks, articles, advice. I just wanted to take a quick second to kind of flip through this pamphlet to show you guys what you can expect with your monthly boxes. I love that. Literally the very first thing I see is a Cocker Spaniel. Right here on the second page, it's going to show you everything that comes inside of your Hooks and Needles box, as well as a special little additional gift that they throw into the box for you. I also really like this how to read and understand crochet chart page. That way you kind of get a feel for like the abbreviations, especially again, if you're a beginner. It's literally going to give you every single bit of information that you need to complete any one of the 3 projects. And as I mentioned earlier, each magazine will come with 3 different patterns. So the first option I have here is for beginners, and this is the Sailor's Knot headband. The second pattern that they offer for this month is the Rabbit Lovey. That's actually so cute. This would be a really great gift for kids. And then lastly, for all of my advanced crocheters out there, they have a woven storage basket, which I'm kind of leaning towards. We'll come back to this later on, but this looks so stinking cute. So those are the 3 projects that come together in my very first kit. Now let's move on to the yarn because I know that's what we all came here for. This is the Hooks and Needles Woodland Whisper. It's 97% merino wool and 3% viscose. It is extremely squishy and scrumptious, very, very soft to the touch, so you could easily use this yarn for wearables, accessories, literally anything that you're looking for, even home decor. This feels so smooth. I know this is going to be really nice across the fingers as you're working with it. The Woodland Whisper is also a number 4 medium or worsted weight. This is one of the first colors included in my box. I love these little like tweedy nubs. I believe that's the viscose. So my box came with not only 2 shades of this deeper blue indigo, but they've also provided me with this really gorgeous light slate heathery gray. I feel like the tweedy nubs are pretty much the same across both of these colors, but I love how these 2 different shades really complement each other, and the contrast is really going to make this yarn pop. So we have our yarn, we have our pamphlet and our patterns, but the even greater thing is that each subscription box will come with every single tool, accessory, and notion that you need to create your project. So the first accessory that they've included is a 5mm crochet hook. So you don't need to go looking around in your collection trying to find the one crochet hook that you need. But I want you guys to notice the quality, okay? We're not just getting a standard aluminum hook, we're getting a wooden handle hook. This is for sure going in my collection. I'm never letting this one go. The box also comes with 3 darning needles, which have a protective cover that is so rare to find. They're here to protect your skin. And when I say that these boxes come with everything that you need to complete your project, I mean, they've even included the stuffing for project number 2, the intermediate project. So if you guys are looking to make that lovey one, you don't even need scrap yarn, polyfill, none of that stuff. Polyfill on lock as well. And then my special free gift that comes in my box is this gorgeous pair of crane scissors. I mean, the detail. So you don't even need scissors from your own collection. You could literally take this entire box to go. So now that we have all of our tools that we need, let's go ahead and pick out a project and, you know, test out this kit. So after I finished filming yesterday, I decided to work up a good amount more of the pattern because I really wanted to see how these stitches were going to come together. My basket is almost finished. I think I have one more row of the basket weave stitch, and then I really just have to work on the handles. Do we see the texture on this? So I'm just going to work on this last row on camera as I kind of talk to you guys. So obviously I would consider myself more of an advanced crocheter. So I already knew the basics of a front post stitch and a back post stitch. But one thing that's really cool with this pattern is that I've never really been shown how to use them together to kind of like alternate stitches. So then ultimately we get this really unique basket weaving kind of stitch. So that's something cool. Like I got to learn a new technique. And another thing that I noticed is, although I'm using this booklet to make this very specific pattern, because I'm learning the basket weave stitch with the front post and the back post stitches, I could really use these techniques and implement them into like any future designs that I create. Now that I have a really good grasp on this kind of textural stitch, I can use the skills that I learned from this pamphlet and then kind of like apply it to everything else in my daily crochet life. Something else that I really appreciate these kits is that the pattern directions are extremely easy to follow. Normally, you know, when I purchase patterns online, they're intensely descriptive, which can be a really good thing, but at the same time, it can be very overwhelming. But every single step in this pattern is so simplified and easy to read that I don't really get distracted and I don't get lost. Normally with a lot of patterns as well, there's so much fluff that goes into it. So for me personally, I wasn't overwhelmed looking at the pattern. From the minute I glanced at it, I actually felt very confident going into this. It also really helps to have pretty much photos for every single step in the pattern. So even if you're not like learning by words, maybe you can also learn visually. Hooks and Needles also offers subscription flexibility, meaning that subscribers have complete control over their monthly subscriptions. You can pause or cancel your box at any time without any hassle. And I believe that you can also pick and choose between crochet one month and knitting the next. And I really like the idea of the flexibility because there may be some months where you guys have so many projects that you can't really work on something smaller, but during those times of the year where you kind of have like a lull or you want a break from your bigger projects, the Hooks and Needles box will come in handy. So again, you can pause, skip as many months as you'd like, or just continue to receive each month at your leisure. They also have a strong online community of over 14,000 crafters. And on their website, you can share photos of your own project and also receive helpful tips and ideas from other like-minded community members. I can proudly say that I have officially finished my first hooks and needles project. I decided to work the last bit of the handles off camera. It was literally just a few double crochets and that was it. And look at the little storage basket that we have. I really enjoy the practicality of this project. Like, we could really get use out of throwing our keys in here, our wallet, but she is a little, you know, she's a little floppy. She needs a little bit of help. So Jordan and I were thinking that we might spray it down with some glue or maybe even like some starch to give it more structure and hopefully it'll harden. So now that I've had a chance to successfully work through my first kit from Hooks and Needles, I thought I would finish off this video with my honest thoughts and things that I really loved about it and a few things that I thought could be improved. I really appreciated that the entire pattern was really only written across like 2 pages. They did add on an extra page, which is just fully like photos, but the directions themselves were very clear-cut and simple to understand, so there really wasn't any room for confusion, and it made the project go even faster. I was also really pleasantly surprised that my final product looks exactly like the photo. So it really helps with the confidence building because you can honestly trust that whatever you're making, your end result is gonna look exactly how they're showing it. And I also really appreciated that I was able to leisurely work on this project over the span of only like 2 days, maybe 4 hours in total. So I don't have to dedicate a lot of time to working on a brand new project. I'm someone that doesn't like to have 100 different whips sitting around. So the faster that I can get something done, the more excited and like just confident that I feel in myself and in my skills. And I believe that their patterns are intentionally written and designed to be finished in under 30 days. So even if you're an extremely slow crocheter or knitter, they really pride themselves on creating patterns that will be finished in a timely manner. I'm also someone who highly enjoys a textured stitch. So I was really excited to see that they included, look at that, this basket weave stitch, like this speaks to me, this sings to my soul. Now this wouldn't be a full review without my suggestions section. I just want to be completely honest and transparent with you guys. And I do have a few little things that I would like to see improved in the future. The first thing being that although wool yarn is a very strong and durable fiber, I think using a mostly wool fiber to make a basket does kind of leave it a little bit limp, a little bit without structure. So I think this kind of project would have been better geared towards something with like a mixed content fiber, whether that's wool mixed with like cotton or linen. I think having that mixed content in there would really add a little bit more stability to this project. So that way, if I'm like throwing things in here, it's not just gonna, you know, flop over. But for what it's worth, again, it is still very usable and practical. But I do understand the limitations because having 2 other patterns in the booklet, you need that same yarn to complement all 3 projects. So maybe in the future, there could be a way that they might change the pattern so that you could like double strand this yarn. And then maybe that way the project would work up a little bit more bulky and then hence give it more stability. So that's kind of like suggestion number 1. And then for my second suggestion, I do wish they provided a way for you to make the objects that they provide in a few different sizes. So for example, with that storage basket that I made, they really only give you like 1 set of starting chains and then you're kind of limited to the size that they've created. After I finished making the storage basket, I thought it'd be really fun to use that pattern, but find a way to make it larger so that I could make like plant pot covers because there's a few plants in our home that don't really have a pot. So it'd be kind of fun to turn the storage basket design into a plant cover. But then my only downside is that they didn't really provide a way for me to make it in larger sizes. That's something that I would kind of have to troubleshoot on my own. And if you guys aren't crochet designers or pattern writers, then it can be very tricky to figure that out on your own. So yeah, as for my second suggestion, I just wish that they provided a few different size options, even for like that headband or even that little rabbit lovey. If you guys could make it in like a larger size or even something smaller, that would have been really helpful as well. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I really like how Hooks and Needles allows you to have access to everything that's in your box. So in case you opened up your box and there's a fiber that you are dying for and you want more of it, whether it's for like sweater quantities or you just want to make the project, again, multiple extra projects, you can totally go online, purchase as many balls of yarn that you need, as well as like hooks, notions, accessories. So that's another thing that I really enjoyed with them. All in all, I really did enjoy the entire creative process from start to finish. Even like that little element of surprise as you're opening the box for the first time, not only with the yarn, but also discovering like brand new patterns. I'm really excited to get my hands on more of these boxes in the future so that I can kind of like hoard and stockpile each of the magazines, and then that way over time you can have like a full library in your home of really quick and easy projects that you can kind of just pick out on the whim and then make it in a few days. So I do really highly recommend this to you guys, again, for all of my beginners, but even those out there who are a little bit more advanced. And if you're interested in testing out hooks and needles for yourself and starting your monthly subscription boxes, they were kind enough to give us a 20% off coupon. You can use itserinbchannel at checkout and you will get 20% off of your first order. I really do enjoy doing these like little test and review types of videos. So if you want to see more of these, let me know down below in the comments. And that's going to be a wrap. And now that this bad boy is all done, I'm honestly just going to chuck it onto our counter. And now I have some more homemade decor for our house. And now I want more.